the starting point is to have a really, really clear idea about what you want graduates to be like from your program. What is the knowledge base they have to leave with? What is the skill base they have to leave with? And understanding that by looking at destinations, looking where students are going to go next. Now, my argument is always that what we should be doing as universities and business schools and universities is preparing people for the next 5 years of their life. So it means you've got to have discussions and you've got to build relationships with actually quite a wide group of stakeholders externally, from the traditional large graduate recruiters, because that's where some students still want to go, but also talking to small and medium-sized enterprises, talking to startups, talking to charities, talking to volunteer organisations, because there's much more diversity now in terms of where students want to go. So that's actually quite a difficult task as well, and that's probably got to be done in reasonably innovative ways. In terms of building the networks where you can get that kind of information, and building programs around that sense of this is the kind of graduate that we want to create, and recognise that there's a whole bunch of different stakeholders that you have to meet in terms of designing your programs. You have to, from a very, again, economically pragmatic perspective, we have to generate programs that students want to study and that are financially sustainable. It can be a wonderfully interesting academic exercise to be a completely supply-driven type organisation and just absolutely reflect everything we do in our research and have a whole series of niche programs, but if they don't sell, then there's not a lot of point doing them. You've got to look at where the specialisms are within the school and recognise that there's no point designing programs that you can't teach, and that specialism is both in terms of content and in terms of how those programs are delivered. And I think recognising that in designing the programs, there's got to be, it's where you find the balance between consulting with academics who might be risk averse, who might be conservative, and might want to just carry on doing the stuff they've been doing for the last 10 years because it's easy, because it frees up their own time to get on with their research, which is how they're trying to build their career.
And they don't like change, maybe.
And
often, in our nature, isn't it?
Yeah, and they don't like change, but also at some point maybe having the confidence to be a little bit directive and saying, actually, you know what, this is what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. I think the starting point for this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it comes from having a really clear idea. I think the starting point for I always struggle with the notion of programs being designed by committee. I think you need a small group of people, 1, 2, maybe 3 people, to design programs, and then design programs really well, have a really good evidence base for why this is a good way of doing it, and then use that as the basis of convincing people that maybe they want to do some co-teaching, that maybe actually we want to rethink how we do the dissertation in this, so it's not a disciplinary based dissertation, it's actually a multidisciplinary based dissertation, or recognising that we can't get all of that integration across all of the programme, so instead, if it's a postgraduate programme, in the first semester of teaching and in the second semester of teaching, there'll be 2 modules together that provide that multidisciplinarity. But also then talking about where there's going to be something innovative and different within a module as well.